it's really bad. Like places are getting flooded and everything. So yeah, so I have a few questions for both of us that some of the people asked. So I'll start right away. Okay.
Okay. So and I'm live on YouTube too. So
yeah, we like you want us to go live on YouTube?
I'm live on YouTube. I have my YouTube set up too because I know some of my people aren't on YouTube. I mean, aren't on Instagram. So I set up on YouTube. So now I'm live on both. There we go. But hopefully they can hear you on this one. So I have my phone close by. So hopefully they can hear the conversation on both. Okay. All right. I think we're good.
Yeah. So the first question I have is, since when are you practicing and how did the beginning of the practice look like?
Oh, I haven't been practicing that long. It's been three years, possibly three years. Yes. I've been practicing for 3 years. Not even sure how I even got here. I've had my gifts for a very, very long time. And it was something that wasn't just, something that I embraced up front. It was something that was more like, oh, what do I do? Am I going crazy? Type situation. Because here, I grew up in a Christian household. I grew up as a Baptist. And so this wasn't something that was just outwardly practiced in our household.
Yeah.
This was something that my great grandmother practiced, but it wasn't out in the open. It was more subdued behind closed doors. Nothing that people would know of right out. And it wasn't as open as it is now. How it is now, it wasn't like that. So I didn't really know what was happening when I was transitioning over. I just knew it was different. I knew something was changing. I knew I didn't relate to the practice that I grew up in. And I knew that my gifts were starting to come back, even though I just sort of pushed them down and ignored them. It just started to grow stronger. So I couldn't ignore it anymore. So it's been 3 years, and it was more like the more I accepted the gifts and embraced them, the more I met more people that were like me. And a lot of them were able to help me and mentor me. So
a lot of times I find that you meet people at exactly the right time.
Yeah.
Like you get them exactly when you need them. And sometimes it happens that after a while, they go out of your life. They are no longer helping you. But
exactly.
You get them exactly when you need them. That's something that I have also got, in my path. That, what happened was I was like a really naughty kid, okay? So I was not really naughty, but I was stubborn, okay? Like I was very stubborn, very, very stubborn. And, finally, there were a lot of, like, complaints because, like, from my school, I did homework. I wouldn't do homework. I was like, I wouldn't do homework, like that, or like, other stuff. And my parents finally decided that they would send me off, to, like this, they'll send me off to my uncle, and so I went to USA from India, and I went to Allen, Texas. Okay, so that's where my uncle lived, and yes, and that's what happened was, like, since it isn't English isn't really my language. I had a problem and I really shut up. Okay, I just shut up. Like I wasn't communicating with people in school. I was just like quiet. I became quiet, and that's when like I started getting these signals and voices. And I was like really young. I was like 13, 14, something about that age, right? And when I shut up, basically, and I used to go on long walks. Okay, like in the evenings, I did not have any, I did not have anything to do. I used to go on long walks, and this place, Allen, had a lot of lakes, and so when I used to go to the lake and like throw stones into the lake and stuff, like it's just like kind of burnout kind of a thing that I have nothing, no one to express and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, one day I remember this it was like twilight time, and this lady came to this lake to kind of bury something or something like that. Okay. And like I was really frustrated, and I wasn't exactly crying, but I was like kind of really, lonely. I looked lonely. And she asked me out, and she she told me that, I'm baking fresh cookies or something like that. And, like, would you like to come in and have some? And I was like, okay. She didn't really look harmful. I was like, okay. And, that's from where my journey began, where she used to teach me little spells, like I used to go to the lake often. She lived nearby the lake. She used to come often, and that's where my journey began. And like the first spell she taught me, like in one whole year, she just like taught me this one simple spell, and she told me to stick with it. This is the only spell I need, And the spell was, "Good luck only come to me, as I will it, so mote it be." So this was the only thing she taught, and I believed it so much. Believed it so much. I was like, yes, this is a spell, and this is going to work definitely, and it did. And I'm really thankful that I went there, and like a lot of things happened, but I met people at the exact right time.
Yeah, and see, what she taught you was the power of just speaking and manifestation, which is
Right.
is technically what we've all been doing. We just didn't know it just never had a name. It never had a name to it. It was just the power of the tongue is always
Yes.
going to win one way or another. So, speaking your intentions and believing what you're saying, it will happen. But I think
Yes.
the biggest issue we've always had is the win factor, the doubt.
Yes.
When is this going to happen? If I keep doing it, how long does it take? And this stuff just doesn't happen overnight. Some stuff it can. Sometimes it can,
Yeah.
but a lot of this stuff it does not happen overnight. It takes time. It takes time, and it requires you to always be in the right mind frame, in the right mindset, and have the right attitude about it. So that's always been the lesson. In my culture is, you know, you speak what you want to happen, but
Yeah.
part of it is also letting go,
Yes.
knowing when to let go.
It's very simple. You do it, and you, for the sake of it, and you forget about it.
Yeah,
And
set it
you
and
know
forget it.
it'll happen.
Set it and forget it.
Just like, forget about it.
Yeah.
It's like you did it, you've done it, now know that it'll happen. Forget about it. And yeah, this is, what people, I guess, as witches, I would say, I think we know that it is going to happen. I've done it, it is going to happen. And we aren't really worried about probably, the when factor. Because we know it will always happen in divine timing.
Right.
It will always happen at the perfect timing. It will not happen before. It will not happen later. It will just happen then. And this is something that I guess clients, I would say, I have difficulty with that. Like that they do not get I would say the understanding or the faith because they're coming to it new everything to have faith in the work, I would say.
Right.
For it to complete. I struggle with that a lot, like to make people understand that see, it's going to happen. Just chill.
And it's hard though. When you want something and you're wanting it so bad, it'll lose you.
Yeah.
So you might do everything that you have control over, you've done. But the reality is, because you want it so bad, it just is not going to happen. So the more you release control, and this is a conversation I've had with myself in the last few days. But the more you release control, the more you'll start to see it happen, or the more you'll start to see things fall into place. So it's twofold. You do the work that you can do, and then the other half is letting go. Letting it go.
You've got to let go at some point, I believe. Like, at one point, I feel that, if I am talking about personal spells that I've done, at one point I feel like, this is all the energy I can give it. And after this, I'll just leave it up to the universe and figure it out, and not think about it anymore because there's no point. Okay, moving on to the
Next question.
Okay, so what does your daily life look like? What's like a typical day in your life look like?
I work full time. I have a regular schmegular job. If you were to see me out in the streets, you would not know that I practice. I look like a regular person. I do not lead with that. I do not lead the conversation with that because what I do is my business. And until I'm comfortable with you, you don't necessarily know. So I don't do that. My regular job, I do marketing and public relations. I do that on a daily basis. So, I help people, well, not people, but an entity with their image and getting information out to the public and helping people understand what they're about. So that's my regular job. After 5:00 is when I come home and I do this. I do my work, of course, in the evening. So I come home. If I have client work to do, I will knock it out. If I have orders, I'll knock it out. But I make my products. I spend my weekends making products or doing orders. And during my work hours is when I do my research. Right? Half of this is an ongoing process. You never know everything. There are so many different practices and so many things that you can learn from other people. So a lot of the times, a lot of it is research, trial and error. Okay, so last time that I did this work, I used these herbs, and this is the result that I got. So I'm learning, new herbs. Let me see how this works with this particular, spell or whatever. But I do my research. I talk to other people, see what else is out there, see what else is going on. Spend my time learning, reading. I keep my books nearby. Okay, so I do my work. It's an ongoing thing. Like I said, I've been doing this just for 3 years, and just in this 3 years, I've grown, but a good part of it is, learning because it's so much more out there than what I know. So I teach what I know and I go from there. What I don't know, I leave. I ask questions. Um, and I'm not afraid to ask questions, but I don't teach what I don't know. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you, look, that's something you need to ask somebody else, or I can direct you to somebody else. But you never, in this practice, you don't let ego get the best of you, because ego will set you up for failure every time. So humility takes you places. Great relationships take you places because you learn from so many people. Things that I don't know how to do, I have friends that know how to do. And that's sort of how all of this works for me.
This is like, this is one of the things that I really enjoy about spell work or something, that you belong to a community, and thank God for Instagram, thank God for YouTube for bringing all of this together, because it really helps. And every day you get inspired by different people. You think that you can try this. Wow, I never thought of this. I can try this, and that really evolves. Like it makes it very enjoyable. I mean, I would never be anything else except for this. So my day, since I don't do a regular job, okay, I am completely dedicated to this. So, and I've been doing this, I would say, as a, like I've opened it up to clients and everything for about 15 to 17 years, somewhat like that. And, it started with, like, I also have, like, degrees and stuff. And it started with, like, really, I was teaching, I was teaching little children, okay? And I had conversations with their mothers, that, like, you can do this, you can do that, okay? Just, like, add this to your tea, or, like, do that, this will have this result, okay? And slowly they started, like, being like, I want to know more. I, like, do this for me, do that for me, okay? Like, I'm having problems with my husband, or having problems with my finances, all of this. So I was teaching in a school, and this started happening, all right? And I kind of gave up, because it was too much for me, and it was very, it was like, it was almost threatening here. It was very threatening. I mean, when I refused people, they were like, how dare you refuse me and stuff. Why you did that for that person and all of that. And, that is when I took this decision that, I would never work, like, like, kind of not show my face and stuff. That's when it, came to me, because it was almost threatening. Like, people were coming up to the school and asking. I mean, I don't know, like, kind of, I don't know if you know, but in India, population is, like, large, okay? And people talk to everybody talks to everybody. Since, like, even at that time, there was, like, less entertainment, so less phone calls, and so, like, it was all local. And local people used to come up, ask for me and everything, and I was getting harassed. And after that, I was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I quit the job and everything. I moved again to another city, and like, that's from where that this kind of I made it private, I would say.
So it basically followed you
4 or 5 years. Yeah.
It followed you everywhere you went. It just followed you.
No, they didn't follow me. They didn't follow me, because at that time we did not have a lot of, like, communication devices as much. Like, today it's like everybody has a phone and everything, but, like, about 15 years back, not everybody had phones. Like, some people did, and not smartphones and stuff, and Instagram and all this stuff wasn't there, literally. Like, at least in India, it wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't follow me. I stopped practicing. I mean, like for other people for like about 3 to 4 years. And then again, like something brought me back, basically. Like something brought me back and I started practicing more consciously, you know. So that was like, you say that nobody would recognize you as a witch. So that was like, I was like, no, nobody can recognize me as a witch, otherwise they'd like haunt me almost,
See, here is
So
everyone that practices, you wouldn't know. Like, this is not something that, some people are open with it and, they look the part. They look like they practice. But me, no. I look like a regular person. I do regular people shit. I don't do anything outside of, my daily norm that would make anyone think, oh shit, she's a witch or she practices. No. And in hoodoo here, actually the people that practice the most are the people in church, the Christians. So and they look like your grandmother, your aunts, your neighbors. So those are the people who practice the most, but it's so much is disguised as tradition. So there are things that we have been doing for years that's actually the hoodoo practice. We didn't call it that. So now it has a name, and that's sort of how it works. And social media has made it acceptable, so it's okay.
Yeah, so this I've had this follow up that like hoodoo and like actually all the practices got imbibed in the daily activities of life, like say for example washing the floor with brick water, like red brick dust and all that stuff.
Right.
It got incorporated in this daily practice so that it did not get distinguished and like people don't like hang them to death and stuff. It got imbibed in the daily practice.
Yeah.
And that's like I read a lot. I think I forgot the name of this book, but I mean, it was really Tasha, I think was her name. I forgot the name of this book, but this, I read this, and there's like, yeah, that is really beautiful, like, say for example, even in Hinduism, we have these practices imbibed as a daily, life thing, like, when you get up in the morning, you do Surya Namaskar, like that is sun salutation and all of this. And so, yes, I feel that somewhere spirituality, religion, and even day-to-day life, like because we are normal people, at the end of the day, we are just normal people. This, probably needs to come to a like understanding, that yeah, we do this and we are good people and we want good things.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get it misconstrued because they see what's sensationalized on TV or on social media. So everybody is throwing hexes and doing all this other bullshit, which makes people, who haven't, they might not know a background or a history of this. And now they just have this idea that is about hexing people. Hoodoo and magic in general is just really manipulation of energy, manipulation of situations, changing your condition. That's basically what it is. Changing your condition, using the elements, using spirit to work in your favor to change your condition for the better. That's really all this is. That hexing bullshit, the hexing happens as a form of protection, not as a form of I'm just going to do it to get back at somebody. So the intent behind you hexing somebody really should be to protect yourself from them, not to technically harm them, but harm them enough so they won't fuck with you. That's it. But I think people have seen so much about, people using practices like this to hex people and do harm to people for all the wrong reasons, which gives them the wrong idea. So
Right.
I think
It's
that's what
like
it is.
I feel the casting of casual curses or casual evil isn't really a place. That doesn't really have a place in hoodoo.
Right.
Like almost all kinds of black magic spells, or like that's what people call it, and all of this hexes and curses. It comes with a warning. But I mean, anybody who picks up a hex book knows what they are doing. So yeah, that I would honestly say as a person who has gone through a lot of things, with other witches, I would say it is, you know, it is what you make it. It is basically what you make it. I mean, yes, your intent behind it should be to protect yourself and to, maybe reverse or get back, whatever. But not start a casual, like
Right.
casual cursing. That's what I call it, casual evil.
Yeah.
You just like for no reason.
Yeah, a lot of people do it though, and it's just because of them operating out of ego and operating out of emotions. So, I tell people all the time, take your emotions out of it. Is it really worth it? Because you don't know who this person is protected by, what spirits this person works with. You don't know how fucked up you're going to get with you trying these things. So, your best bet is to do your research, do a divination to see if this is the type of work you should be doing. A lot of times, sometimes it's just not. Sometimes you just take the shit off of you and just keep on living your life and protect yourself so they can't get to you. And then other times it requires you to put your foot in somebody's ass. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to, excuse me for being crass, but that's just me. Sorry. If anybody's offended, I hope you're not.
You have every right to, get back if that is absolutely necessary after you have calmed down.
Yeah.
If something bugs you, if something bugs your peace, you are doing with hex or whatever you are doing, you're doing it for your own relief, and that is completely justified, I would say.
Yeah, for the most part, unless your spirits are already handled it and said, okay, well, I'm on top of it. You don't have to do anything. And you just fall back. You don't have to do anything. But some people just try to take it to a whole nother level when really the person who's done the work on you is already being handled. So sometimes you don't have to do anything. You just live your life. Everything doesn't require a response. Everything doesn't require a response.
Right.
Some of it is just knowing that you have the power to do it, but choosing not to. There's where your power comes.
I mean, sometimes I would say it's just a waste of energy because it requires a lot of energy. Just do it. And time too, materials too. Why would you do that? I mean, it's like after a point you're like, this fuck it, I don't want to do this. Like, I just don't want to waste my time. Okay, so our third question.
Mm-hmm.
What is your craft composed of, and how did it change over time?
I do work mainly with elements. My ancestor spirits, elemental spirits, saints. I don't work with deities too much. And that's because I don't feel like I built a strong enough relationship to work with some deities. And then some deities require you to be initiated in certain practices, which I'm not initiated in anything. So therefore I don't necessarily work with them. But what I work with primarily are my ancestors. Why? Because that's who I have the most access to. My ancestors, I work with angels, I work with um, saints, and then of course the elements. Elements, you work with herbs primarily, of course,
Yeah.
herbs, fire, water. So I do a lot of that type of magic, elemental magic. Um, I don't really work with too many deities, and I don't practice teaching people to work with too many deities because if you're not initiated, you don't know what you're doing sometimes. You don't know if these are trickster spirits. You don't know if these deities will have you, trapped into something that you're going to be regretful for doing. So no, I don't. That's not what I do. And what was the other half of your question?
How did it evolve, like over time?
Over time, it's just I'm just learning more of what to use and how to use it, and using more of different approaches. So I don't necessarily have to always use my personal magic when I can use more elemental magic. You know what I mean? Why? Because everyone has access to the elements. So if I'm doing work for you, I'm going to use elemental magic because you have access to that power too. So us doing it together strengthens the work and strengthens the spell that, for you to get shit done. I don't always have to go and ask my ancestors to do anything. We can, appeal to your ancestors for them to help you and then use the elements to support the work that they're doing. So that's basically how I work. And I'd rather teach you to do it yourself than you always having to come to me and hire me to do work for you. So I'd rather teach you and tell you what you need to do and how to do it versus you coming to me and saying, hey, can you do this, this, and this for me? No, you have the same power that I have. Use it. Learn to use it. It's not hard to use. And don't be afraid to use it.
So I have a certain theory about this exact thing that you say, that the power is with you, So I have a certain theory. So that is that, when we say are born, our memory is wiped out. We have no memory of where we were, where we are coming from.
Right.
So we have no memory. And that basically makes us forget our true power,
That's
that
true.
we are divine beings. All of us, we all come from the same source. We go back to the same source. And we forget that we are powerful. And
that's true.
I would say that's the whole trick of the world. I would say that's the trick of the world, that you forget and you don't know who you are.
Yep.
And that's the reason that I guess, say, if you are doing magic for me, for it to work, I need to elevate myself at least in some way. I need to stop doing some things. I need to start doing some things, that would just at least help. Otherwise, if I don't make that connection, just like I say, like I have access, you have access to the elements, I have access to the elements, and that's like, the power will transfer, the power will go through. And that's what, is, I think, what goes amiss sometimes is the fact that we are not able to connect to that, knowing that this is within us. It's up to us.
Right. Connecting to your own power and tapping into your own power. But I think a lot of the times people forget that they have their own power simply because of what you just said. So, and they fear, I also, people fear their own power. You never know how strong you are until you have to use it. So at what point do you put it to the test? At what point do you test yourself and say, well, let me just try this shit out? You know, the worst that can happen is, I have to do a reversal, or I have to get somebody to help me to get it off. But what's the worst that can happen if I do it myself? You do your research and you go from there. I have people over here. Hey, Hershey Bliss.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm trying to stay focused, y'all. I'm over here on YouTube too. So I'm listening. I'm hoping they're able to hear you as I answer the questions on this side.
Okay. All right. So how do you protect your energy? Like the doing work and everything.
So I do protection baths often. I wear protective jewelry. I use protective sprays. My house is protected. I make sure that my house is protected, whether I use I have railroad spikes outside of my house. I do of course my brick dust. I do protective work every time I do work for anybody else. I do protection work for myself. So that's always the first key to doing any kind of work is protection. Cleanse and protect.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the first thing you're going to do is cleanse yourself and then protect yourself. So take off anything that should not be there and then put up protection that will help you prevent anything else from coming through. Especially when you're doing work for yourself or for others. When you're doing work for others, you sort of take on their energy and you stand in the gaps for them. So that means whatever is coming for them can come for you. So you best believe that you enlist protection for them. So that means you do protection work for them as well as for yourself. So yeah, I do that. So of course, I'm heavily protected. Of course I make offerings to, my ancestors and, spirits that I might work with or saints that I may work with to make sure that they're going to protect me and stand in the gaps for me too. And you do protection work monthly, at least monthly, especially if you're doing work for everyone else. A minimum of a month.
And you cleanse at least weekly.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, and you don't have to. I mean, there's so many ways to cleanse. You can. There are plenty of ways to cleanse, but you cleanse the way that you feel, comfortable with, most comfortable with. And for me, I'm more of a water element. So I like baths. That works best for me. So of course I'm gonna, use my herbs and I'm gonna do a herbal cleansing bath. So.
Yeah. And with protection, I feel the most amount of protection that anybody who comes on, say, on social media, and nowadays everybody uses social media, is a lot of evil eye. Lately, I have been getting so much of it. I've been getting cases basically that people are coming and then when I'm reading for them, I see that there's a lot of evil eye.
Yeah.
And how do you protect that? Because I regularly cleanse my feet. You'd see sometimes maybe that, I am cleansing my feet. But I do not know, since it is completely, internet-based,
Mm-hmm.
I do not know how much even I am attracting, for that matter. So how do you do that?
With protecting yourself on social media, you can do incantations on your profiles. Protection incantation. So, with your social media profile, whatever pictures you post, you will pray some type of protection spell or prayer over those photos to repel anything that is sent, or if anyone tried to snatch your photo to use it to do work on you, you can protect yourself by using the photo that you're going to post and making sure that your profile literally has a protection spell over it, so it can't be used, or you can't be penetrated that way. So if you're using photos, videos of yourself, anything like that, protect it before you put it up. Or when you put it up, make sure you're seeing a protection spell over it. Some people I've seen put the evil eye symbol in the corners of their photos. But, you do whatever you need to do to protect yourself on social media, which is why, if you notice, I don't do a whole lot of photos of myself on my social media pages on purpose. I don't want to give you anything that you shouldn't have. Huh?
Yeah, even like I see like that is kind of a trend, or almost like, I have seen almost like really people going searching for, people on their social media, taking their photos and like literally doing work on them.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I get photos. If I want to fuck somebody up, I go right to their social media page, click, screenshot and print, and now your ass is on my altar, and it's easy to do because most people don't know to just protect or put some type of protection incantation on your photos. If you notice, a lot of people don't put up pictures of their children for that purpose.
Yeah.
So
we need to do that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I would actually try this, like putting protection over every photo and everything that I post. Is like it never occurred to me. I was like, I have to do something about this, but it never occurred to me. So that's really a great idea. So how do you stay mentally well dealing with people and their problems on a daily basis?
That's hard. Me staying mentally well, because I care. I care way too much sometimes. And it's hard sometimes to separate the two because of just who I am. Like, I want people to be successful. I want people to be happy. And so if I give you advice, if you come to me for help, if you come asking questions, then I'm going to tell you what to do, but then I get frustrated when you don't follow the instructions. That is a problem of mine. So mentally, I'm distraught because now I know, your situation is probably fucked up, but you contributed to it. You created your own problem. And now you're right back in my inbox or on my phone or in my email asking me for help. So I do a lot of praying for people. I talk to my friends. I need to actually get out more, but the best way to get your mental health, of course, is to move. Move energy. Energy is always moving. That's what emotions are. Energy and motions. That's what emotions are. So to counteract that, the best thing to do is to get out and move. Go out in nature, walk, exercise. I don't do enough of that. I'm lazy. But I'm gonna start. But I do try to get out and walk, like during work hours sometimes. But yeah, it's more or less, in talking to my friends, I do have a life coach of my own that I talk to about certain things. Writing also helps. Sometimes I just write things out to get them out of my off of my brain if it's plaguing me. But I'm very thankful for my friends who give me the support and the listening ear and check me when I need to be checked. In a sense of telling me the truth and being honest with me. Like, this is not your problem. Because I feel guilty sometimes. I really do. But it's not my problem. My life, to be quite honest, I live a quiet life. I don't really need anything. I don't really have a bunch of drama or trouble in my life. I don't have, somebody that I'm having to deal with and deal with their life and their life issues. If I deal with people, it's because I choose to, not because I have to at this point. And so my time is my time, and I'm protective of my time and my energy at this point. And the people that I choose to give my time and energy and effort to, of course, are very appreciative, and they help me and I help them. So it's an exchange. Definitely an exchange. But yeah, I do a lot of, I talk. I talk and I get it out. I'm very expressive. I do not hide my feelings at all. If something is wrong, I'm going to say it. I don't hold back. Um and that's something I had to learn how to do, because I was one of those people who bottled everything up. Now I say it. If it doesn't feel right to me, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah,
So
I think, and people who love you will, actually respect those boundaries. That's how you discern that this is the person, who is beneficial to me, who wants to support me, who wants to see me succeed. And this is the person who doesn't. You would, I guess a lot of people, and I'm sure like everybody as a person, we have struggled with this, that, we probably sometimes get too emotional or attached to people, even friends. But you've got to notice what their intentions are, and you know what, like this is what I tell like anybody who comes to me with this problem, that tell me what has they, what were their actions. Okay, maybe don't listen to their words, just tell me what were their actions.
Right, actions speak louder than words.
Exactly, and just follow their actions. You would know them. You don't need to even have to do a reading. Sometimes you just follow their actions, and that you have to discern for yourself. You have to understand that, yeah, this is it. This is how the person is. It can be, say for example, my father, he continuously, criticizes me a lot. Okay. But his actions always have been to support me. So I know all his criticism comes from a place where, like, he wants to see me succeed. Right. He wants to see me successful. He doesn't want to make me want me to make those mistakes that he did. So that's why he, tells me that, do this, do that, you're not doing this correctly, and all of this. So, but all of his actions has been to support me. So yes, you have to discern. And like, there have been friends in my life who have, sweet talked me and everything and all of that. But when it came, when the time came, or, like backhanded compliments and, stuff like that, you need to follow their action. And you need to be strong enough to cut those people out as well. And that's what I think, that, you set your rules and see who respects them. And, that's how you know who needs to stay in your life and who needs to go. Okay, so I guess after this, we'll take some questions from like whoever is watching us. I guess 15 people are watching us right now.
Yeah, if you have a question, go ahead and type your question on either side.
Yeah, you can go ahead and ask. I think somebody asked this question. How do you protect yourself on the path to great success? I think,
on the path. You protect your. How do you protect your energy on the path to greater success, like you would anything else? What else? Yeah. What else do you want to protect? You protect yourself. You protect your emotions. You protect your heart, because a lot of the time, sometimes you think you're involved with somebody and they're not there with the best interest. You know what I mean? They're there to get what they can get too. You protect your energy overall, how you deal with people and who you deal with. That's the biggest way.
Yes, absolutely. And even this, I would say, having this intention that of like being protected would do the trick for most people. And cleanse,
Yeah,
cleanse daily almost.
cleansing has to happen.
Okay.
How do
Okay,
you
let's see some
begin?
more questions.
How
Okay,
how did
how
you
to
begin
begin
your
your
learning
learning?
journey? Um, and then the other question is how to detach from your desires so they can manifest. Oh, girl, I still got to work on that one. Um, how to begin your learning journey? Just pick a spot. Pick a spot. What are you curious about? What is it that you want to know? What is it that you don't know? Start asking yourself questions and researching what you don't know. That's the best way to start. Just pick a spot. You're never going to know everything. Be okay with that. Be okay with not knowing. That just means that you're teachable. So if someone comes along and you don't know something, you can learn from them. That just means you're teachable. So be open to learning at all times. Be a student at all times and never be the smartest person in the room. Okay? You might be the most
Yes.
resourceful, but never be the smartest person in the room. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
You want
Yeah.
people to know more
And
than you so you can learn from them.
yeah, and I feel that a few things that I would like to add is that uh, the whole thing is like it's not where to begin. I mean, if you wait for a time and place to begin, you would always be waiting. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
You just need to do it. You just begin. You just need to do it.
You start.
I would say, take the leap of faith. That is the whole thing, that you're interested in it and just begin. And I feel that everybody is on their own personal journey. Everybody is, okay? Everybody is on the spiritual journey, and some people realize it or some people spend their lives without realizing it. But we are all, somewhere. So you're already on this journey. You don't really have to begin. All you really need to do is be conscious,
Right.
and start doing. That's what I feel. Okay.
That's true.
So how do we detach?
How to detach from your desires so they can manifest. Like I said, I'm still working on that one myself. Because I have a hard time detaching. Someone told me I have control issues. I do have control issues. I am aware of some of my control issues, not all of my control issues. However, what I do have control over, I will do. Meaning, if, for an example, I like to use this example because, again, we never know. If I'm trying to get a job, the only thing I have control over is making sure that I put in an application, put in my resume, and do what they have asked me to do. What I do not have control over is whether or not those people call me back, whether or not those people think I'm the best candidate out of all of the applications that they've received, whether or not they decide that they're going to choose me in comparison to someone else. I don't have control over that. So at that point, once I do everything that they've told me to do, I have to let go. I have to tell myself, okay, if this job is for me, then everything will fall into place. I've done everything I can do. I'll let it go from here. I'll let my spirit team do the work from here. Because that's the only entity that could do that. That's the only, entity that's going to help me beyond that point. That's the beautiful part about spirit and being in touch with your spirits, is they can be in places that you can't. So they hear conversations that you'll never get to hear, ever. And because of that, you need to trust that whatever it is that you're being directed to do is the right thing for you, because they've been able to hear and see things that you aren't. So they know way more than you. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so it's not an easy thing to let go, but do only what you have the opportunity to do and control to do. And then you have to let go of everything else. A mantra that I always say is, I'm connected to everything and attached to nothing. What is for me will never pass me by. I'm connected to everything, attached to nothing, but what's for me will never pass me by. And that's, you just let go from there.
Yes, and I feel that, you know, it's like, I actually find, for me, I will not say at first it has not at all been easy, letting go. All right. But what has happened over time is that I literally find peace in letting go. Like, literally, I find peace in not having to worry about it anymore. So I'm like, I just give up. I don't want to worry anymore. I'm not willing to worry anymore, and that's, I end there basically, and I don't think about it. I mean, sometimes I do end up thinking about it. I mean, that's quite natural, but, I just, bless the thought and move on, move on to a different thought. That's what I really, really, I really like about this thing, that I don't have to keep worrying about it. That is the whole point. Like, this will come to me only when I let go. And I don't have to keep working behind it, because what is mine will never pass me by.
Right.
That is the whole point, that I don't have to worry about it. That is the reason why. I feel this is like, I have studied a lot of psychology. So, when you give your brain an explanation for why you are doing something, your conscious brain will accept it. So even if I'm telling you to do something bad, say not bad, say irrelevant, say I am asking you to switch off your light, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because, and you have to add this because, and you have to give a reason, okay? The reason can be anything, all right? But it'll make sense to you. I think, if I say that, go switch off your light because you look more beautiful, okay? It's kind of a reason, and your brain would accept it. If you tell yourself that and you believe in it, your brain will accept it. So that's what I found. Like, I am going to let go because what is mine will not pass me by. So that is where I fix my because. And I like, there's this neuro-linguistic programming. I am not an expert in it, but I have learned about it, read books about it and all that. So it's a really good trick that I would like to share with, everyone, that if you say need to even focus on something, add a big pause to it, that I need to get this work done because, and add a reason. And your brain would keep on telling you that, and your brain would kind of agree and work for you, because you've given it a reason, that this is the reason I want it. So, yeah, you'll eat because you're hungry. It's like that.
Right.
So, I really like this. I got this, and it's amazing. Maybe, people can benefit from this. Okay, so we have another question. All right.
What is the kind of community support you have received since you started, and what are your personal experiences? Community support. I have my tribe. And when I say my tribe, people who have come to me through other avenues because I was on somebody else's live, maybe answering questions, or um, somebody referred them to me, or they found me randomly. Um, I don't know how people find me. Sometimes it's a little weird, and I'm always a little weirded out when people say, "Oh yeah, I found you on such and such," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, girl. All right. Well, thanks." Because part of the question is for me is always why me, and you ask yourself that, like, why me? Why me versus all of the other people who do the same thing I do? Why me? Um, so it's is a question I always ask myself, but because there's the whole letting go thing, right? The wanting to know why, your brain needs to know why.
Yeah.
Um, but eventually I'm just like, okay, apparently her spirit team thinks I can help her or help him get the job done or help them get through whatever the situation is. So I have people who found me and I found them, or spirit spoke to me and told me to reach out, or like if I see you on a forum and you're asking questions and I offer my advice in the question, never to, you know, try to outdo somebody else, but this is what I was told to tell you. This is a message I was told to give you, so therefore I give you that message. But that's basically how I've received my community support. I haven't really like been out publicly per se to do like workshops or anything like that. Um, but I've held a couple classes and people found me through that too. So that's
So
just
that's
gonna.
really great. So, very honestly, um, I mean, I haven't, I mean, I struggled with telling people the fact that, I probably practice, it always went like, I probably do something that might make something, and it all went in circles always, like, me trying to explain to others that
Mm-hmm.
what do I do, okay, and so it, so I struggled a lot with telling people what was all this about and what did I do and everything, and I really did not receive a lot of positives. Okay, I mostly received a lot of negatives, and you know, my my father didn't even understand. So I did not even try explaining it to him. I don't think my father understands till date what I am doing. I don't think he understands, So, but whatever it is, but my friends at that time had been really supportive. My mother had been really, really supportive, and my husband has been. I mean, he's really. I mean, I sometimes think that, like, I am, like, how can he even tolerate me? Something he sees ghosts. Okay, I mean, like, this was kind of a story. So one day, so there we have a veranda. Okay, so and moonlight comes in through that, and that is like that is where I give offerings to spirits that are passing. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
passed by spirits. All right, so I give offerings there. So it's kind of a bit outside. All right, so that, like, they are not inside my home. So it's a bit outside. So, and the moonlight comes in through there. So one day, like, I was, so I was in another room, and my husband was, like, he was just passing by, that veranda, and there's a chair there where I sit, and all that. So he stayed. So he thought that I was sitting there in the dark. Okay, so there was like there was no light or the light wasn't on and anything. So the moonlight was coming in, and he thought that I am sitting there, okay, because he saw a hand and somebody of my height sitting there. All right, and so he said like, "What are you doing in the dark?" All right, he just said like, "What are you doing in the dark?" And he switches on the light. All right, and he sees that there's no one there, and that was like, that was. I mean, it kind of shook him, and he was like, I'm really scared of you right now, and everything. I'm seeing stuff because of you. But then, he was really, really supportive of that, and my daughters are really, really supportive of everything I do. Like they want to learn, and I have a nephew, I have a nephew and a niece, and who wants to learn this thing. And my niece is like, she comes over, stays over. She wants to learn and everything of of what I do. And since I kind of accepted it, it has been smooth. But it's not like I don't get any backlash. It's not like that. I mean, at least in India, it's not like I don't get any backlash. Like when I tell people that I'm a spiritual, I don't even say that I'm a witch per se to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I say that I'm a spiritual advisor. Okay, so and they are like, they raise their eyebrows and everything, and like they don't think that it's a real work, I would say. And yeah, sometimes it's sad, but I would say 99% of the time I have been really, really, blessed to meet people who are supportive of.
I just tell people I'm an herbalist.
understanding.
I tell people I'm an herbalist, and they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, what can I use for such and such and such for this ailment, for sickness, for this, or detox my body?" And I'll tell them. But that's how I pass it off. I'm just like, "Oh, I'm an herbalist." My family doesn't know what I do. They have no idea. I have a few cousins that know, and they just know not to ask questions. Don't ask questions. Just ask. Tell me what it is that you need. I'll get you what you need. That's it. Don't ask questions. There's no need for that. What do you need? You need help with what? Okay, done. And leave it as that. You come to my house. Don't touch anything. Don't just leave it. Don't ask me what it is. Just leave it alone. If you see it sitting there, don't question it. Leave it alone. Because my parents don't know what I do. They've come in the house and they've seen my altar. My mom has eaten offerings off of my altar and didn't know she ate my altar offerings because she doesn't know. And I just let her eat it. I'm not going to tell her anything else. I just replace it because they know she doesn't know because I didn't tell her. But she's come in and she's come to my house and she's ate up all of the offerings off of the altar without knowing that that's what that was. She's seen the pictures and she's just like, "Oh, you got pictures of your grandma and da 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 da." And yeah. So that's what it looks like. I practice in plain sight. I practice in my office at work and no one knows. I've had offerings in my office at work and no one knows because it just looks like plain sight. Oh, she just has, stuff in the window, or she just has, incense blowing out of her diffuser. Actually, no, bitch. That's protection incense to keep you out of my office because your energy's off today. So, people don't know when you're practicing in plain sight. You do. And you know how to function in front of other people without them asking too many questions. So you can practice in plain sight. I mean, I have stuff in my car that people have no idea the meaning behind it. I have brick dust in the corners of my windshield to protect me from accidents and stuff like that. People get in my car, have no idea. Oh, your car's a little dusty. Don't worry about it. I know. So it's just you practice And you don't always have to explain yourself. For one, I'm not going to explain myself. I don't have to explain shit to you. My life is my life. I don't come to your house touching your shit. Don't come to mine touching my stuff. Period. Don't move nothing. Don't ask questions about it. You didn't bring it here. It's not bothering you. Leave it alone. And that's just how I operate. So people know that. They know.
Yeah, it's this is like um say for example this practicing in plain sight. I have loads of plants for a particular purpose, and nobody would know.
Right.
So I live in an apartment. Okay. So I put plants in with a particular intention. Maybe I add a root there, or maybe I do something, and it just it just stays it imbibes that energy, it grows, and it's like a living spell, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really great, like doing magic with your plants.
Plant
in that
magic.
plants, it's really great. You're doing windowsill magic, like you just maybe draw it with your, especially with sigils. I really love working with sigils with just this particular purpose. It's like, it's like a design. You don't need to know what it is. It's just a design, If anybody asks, it's just a design. I like this, and, something like that. So, yeah, this is like practicing in plain sight is, I think, what more, I just want to get it out there. It's not that everybody looks like they are practicing, okay? And, a lot of people, I have seen this, okay? A lot of people diss other people that, whatever you're doing doesn't look legit, okay? And that is the last thing that you would want to say, because if it doesn't look legit, it most probably is legit, because it is in plain sight,
Right. Most spells are the most powerful spells, or most powerful work is the most simplest work ever. It's the simple shit. The stuff that's not as complicated works the best.
Exactly.
You don't always have to burn a candle and have 8,000 candles burning. You can use a tea light candle and some salt and get everything done that you need to get done if you know what you're doing. It does not have to be complicated at all.
It's just, for a lot of, since I work with a lot of herbs and stuff, I would say it does help adding those herbs and stuff, because it carries the energy.
Yeah.
Say for example, you just this kind of a tip that whatever is there in the mundane, try to translate the same meaning into the magical. If you eat an orange, smell an orange, you feel fresh, right? So that is exactly what it does in magical work. It opens up your roads, it clears up, it makes everything fresh. It's and also, success, prosperity. In India, we have this goddess Lakshmi. I'm sure you must have heard of her. Like Lakshmi, she's the goddess of abundance and wealth and prosperity and everything, right? So goddess Lakshmi. So another name for her is in Hinduism. Another name for her is Kamala. Okay, and Kamala is actually an orange. All right. So there you got it. It's already present. If you just think about things maybe beyond the first layer, you got magic there. Magic is hidden everywhere.
It is. In your food. Yeah, it's definitely in your food. You're trying to attract love or do love work. Well, what do people typically do when they're having a romantic night? What do? They have chocolate covered strawberries, right? Strawberries are associated with love, right? So why not? Okay, my intentions of buying these strawberries are to increase self-love, and you set the intention for the food that you're about to eat. If you're trying to, spice it up, add some cinnamon to that shit. Throw a little cinnamon on it. And, set the intention. This is to increase love of myself or attract more love to myself or whatever. So it's all around you with the simplest things if you just decide to open yourself up to see it that way. So
Right.
yes.
Let's move on because I think we have been on the live for an hour. I think.
Yeah, we've been on for an hour, at least an hour 15 minutes. I'm surprised Instagram hasn't cut me off.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. I think that they want us here.
Let me see.
It usually gets turned off at an hour.
After an hour, yeah. Okay, it says, please suggest a spell to help my brother out of depression. Depression is a mental thing, so you need to ask for mental clarity and peace. Okay, mental clarity and peace. You can use lavender. Lavender is always great for peace. That's the whole purpose, is to bring peace. If you use lavender oil and stuff like that, lavender flowers, so you can do a lavender bath. Also, Instagram, I'm being told Instagram goes for more than an hour now. Okay, well, thank you, Nadia. But coconut is great for clearing things up and clearing things out. So you can use fresh coconut water, coconut milk, and you can do a bath with coconut milk and lavender to help cleanse your thoughts. Somebody said reconciliation, and that'll help you out of depression. Also add roses for more love, so he can feel more loved from the people around him and more love from himself. So that helps him with depression. Reconciliation. Let's talk about reconciliation. And this is from the Gospel of Toya. I don't push reconciliation. I don't push love spells at all, because you're going against somebody's free will at that point. Right? So if this person left your life, let them go. Don't chase them. Let them go. Let them stay wherever they're supposed to be. That's the whole control thing of letting go and releasing. Because what happens is when you release and let go, you're telling the universe that space is now open to receive something better.
Exactly.
So don't try to hold on to somebody that doesn't want to be there.
I mean, just as a side note, I would say there is, you cannot bend free will. Not just you, I mean, one cannot bend free will, at least easily or without any backlash.
Right.
So when, what you can do, maybe, I mean, just as a suggestion, is that maybe make them think about you, maybe some attraction magic. Attraction magic is always good. But beyond that, compelling and other stuff is not really, it won't even work if it is not meant to be. Mm-hmm. It's kind of wasting your time and energy, I would say. It won't work if it is not meant to be. And yeah, I mean, if somebody does love you, that person will follow up. That thing, you need to track a person's actions. Just look at their actions and see, what is going on. Okay, I will ask 3 quick questions, 3 rapid fire questions, I would say.
Okay.
And then we will end the session because I don't think there are more questions coming up. Are there more questions coming up?
Somebody said, did so many cord cuttings. It's been 7 months yet unable to cut off my ex. I still the etheric cords attached, although I don't want him back. The way he betrayed me haunts me. So that's shadow work on your end. That needs to be work on your end. and that helps you to let go. So journaling as to why you were with this person in the first place. Excuse me. Journaling why you were with this person, how this relationship affected you, helps you to release any additional thoughts or lingering thoughts of him with you. So try to journal and let those thoughts go. Go ahead with your rapid fire.
Okay. Yeah. So, 3 tips for beginner witches.
3 tips for beginner witches. Learn, learn, learn. Learn all that you can. Read and research. Protect yourself first. And never jump into something without knowing what you're doing. Okay, so what I mean by that is don't do it just because you see everyone else is doing it. What's for them may not be for you. So your approach to something might not be the approach you should take because you saw it somewhere else. Don't follow the leader in this situation. Okay? Those are my 3 tips.
So mine would be, first obviously learn and research and maybe ask someone.
Yep.
Who knows probably. Best is, before you start doing actual spells, maybe take a class, at least, or, maybe take a class, at least one class to understand, get your basics straight and, think about things beyond the, surface level, okay? Try to find magic where, wherever you go, wherever you look, try to find, because it is there. And, I feel this hones your psychic connections a lot because, when you are open, I would say this is kind of one thing I started, I started being open in an internal way. I'm telling my mind to be open. I am not being open, go and talk and to people and stuff. No, I'm not doing that. But internally, I am being open to, new things. Okay. So maybe I would, would recommend meditating, sitting down, meditating, and trying to be more open. And third tip that I absolutely swear by is follow your gut. Follow your gut. Whatever, if it is if you feel you want to write down your intentions on a piece of paper and burn it, if you feel like doing that, do that. If you feel like you want to write down your intentions on paper and bury it, do that. Go with your gut, trust your gut, and the more you trust your gut, the more you, go with it. Maybe sometimes you fail, sometimes you'll succeed, but every time this whole calling or this whole ability of of you trusting your gut will get more smoother and clearer. It's how do you know that, your best friend will have your back? Because they have had your back most of the times. Mm-hmm. So how do you know that your gut instinct will work? It is because it has worked a lot of times. So you need to go with it. Just go with your gut, whatever it tells you. All right. And yes, as you said, along with this, you need to cleanse and protect. Because when you're going with your gut, yes, you sometimes fall in a lot of trouble also when you go with your gut. I'm telling you for myself, my gut leads me into a lot of trouble. So I know.
Yeah. Trust yourself. Trust yourself.
But yes, everybody has a way basically. So my gut leads me. I usually start digging small, and then I dig up a huge, something else. That's how it works. I thought that I'm just scratching the surface, trying something out, And then I end up in a rabbit hole where I'm like, okay, discovering this, that, and it's just never ending, It's like 99% of the nights I'm up because I'm following, one link from another and all of that stuff. So yeah, go with your gut. This is my thing. Okay, this is not being a rapid fire. I'm so sorry. I have never anchored.
It's
I have
okay.
never anchored before. So okay. So one person asked, what is when you get a tarot reading, for how long is it valid, or for how long is the energy constant? And since you are a great reader, that's why I wanted to ask you this question: that for how long do you think a tarot reading is valid for?
It depends. It depends on where you are during the reading. Sometimes past energy is still lingering. So depending on if you had a reading and your past energy shows up, that means that you're still lingering in it, and you have to start working your way out of that past energy. If that's what keeps showing up in your readings, that just means that there are things that are there are still loose ends in regards to your past. So if you're doing a reading and a lot of stuff from your past continues to show up, that just means that you're still trying to tie up loose ends from that situation. If I'm doing a reading and we see a lot of the future stuff coming into play, sometimes that can come into play 3 to 6 months, sometimes further out. It just depends on where you are presently. So if this is happening right now in present time and you're asking, okay, and I'm specific too, I'm getting specific. Hey Rain, I'm getting specific when I ask questions. I try not to go beyond 3 months, because anything beyond 3 months can change. It can literally change within days. Okay, it's energy. Energy is constantly moving. Energy is constantly changing. So I always ask for things within a 3 month range. So that way it gives you a short term view as to, okay, this is what can happen within the next 3 months. It doesn't necessarily have to be, something that's going to happen tomorrow, but this can happen within the next 3 months. And it might not be the exact thing. You have to understand that people involved have free will also. So just because you know what's happening doesn't mean it's going to happen that way. What if that person is doing some magic on the other end that you don't know about? That can change the outcome of what your reading is telling you as well. So I always try to focus on 3 months, no more than 6 months, because anything beyond that is really just a hodgepodge of information that can just change willy-nilly whenever it decides it wants to get ready. So I would say 3 months is a really good time to figure things out. That's a quarter of the year, so this can happen within the next 3 months. But when you're asking questions, be specific about, okay, will this happen for me in the next 3 months or 6 months? Don't focus too far out in the future, because all of that can change.
Okay, and the last question: what, according to you, this is also one of the questions from the people watching us. So, what is the most powerful and fastest way to manifest?
Letting go. Just asking for what you want, doing what needs to be done to get it, that you have control over or that you're supposed to do, and then letting go. I mean, sometimes you don't need to ask your spirit team for any help. If it's supposed to happen, it's just going to happen. And, you just go from there. But you have to, the hardest thing is just letting go. Things happen when you let go. I don't care what it is, but if it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. Ask for the help that you need. Ask for help. Once you get the help, let it go. You can't do anything more than what you've already done. Stop trying to control what the outcomes are. Stop trying to control, who's involved and how to do it. Just ask, do your part, and fall back and say, I did enough.
And
I release this. Set it and forget it.
I mean, when working with people, the fastest, the person who manifests the fastest are the people who know that this is going to work, who don't ask questions. I mean, of course, you're welcome to ask questions, but like, you don't ask questions like, will this work? Will this work? When will this work? And all of these kind of questions, like anxiety-based questions, when they know that, and they are sure that, I know I deserve this, I am going to get it, and they know that this is going to happen. That is what manifests fastest. And the second one is obviously fire magic manifests very fast.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's fire.
I feel that, that I am, more comfortable with, earth magic and water, the elements, like water and earth. I feel very comforted, I feel extremely, comforted and nice, and I would say, there's like this motherly feeling, I would say, when I am working with these two elements. But when working with fire, I feel powerful, I would say, but yeah, I mean, it sometimes doesn't always need to be fastest, because you see, fire also causes destruction.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it can.
That is like,
it can work too fast.
Like fire, not the destruction, I would say, but yeah, it's kind of like, it's going to be fast, but it's not, may not always be how exactly you want it. With fire magic, that's kind of what I feel. Okay.
People use it.
Yeah, I use it all the time. I am guilty of it.
I try to just incorporate more than one element in any kind of work I do anyway. So if I'm doing fire magic, I'll throw in some earth with it. So of course, you're still going to use your herbs with it. Still use spirit with it. So you still have 3 elements that you're working and using together. So
I kind of use earth element in all of my spells, because it really feels, it kind of brings things in, it kind of brings things into manifestation. So I really love working with the earth element. Even with, when I'm using candle spells and everything, I always use, some soil below the candle to secure it, as well as, move the, like energy into manifestation, ground it, tie it to this earthly realm, I would say, kind of.
We have a question on the floor. Deletty says, what's a good element to attract more personal finances? Earth. Why? Because finances is tangible. Earth is the tangible element. So you will use more earth elements whenever you're dealing with anything tangible. So your finances, houses, even down to relationships. Okay. You want a physical relationship. You want somebody to be with you. Use the earth element. Now you want them to feel a way about you. You use water, because water deals with the emotions. But if you want them to physically come to you, use the earth element along with the fire element, because you want them to come quickly. You want passion with that. But emotional, you want water. Earth element. So anything dealing with what you can actually touch and feel, you will use the earth element. So that means crystals. Doing a crystal grid, that is earth. You can use herbs. That's the easiest thing you can do. Why? Because these are things that you touch. These are things that are already around you. You eat herbs all the time. If you eat Italian food with rosemary and bay leaves and stuff like that, you're eating with intention. If you set the intention of these Italian herbs will help to bring, money to me or whatever you want. So use the earth element as often as you can. That's how you
And
attract money.
it's wonderful to ground yourself. I mean, that's something that, I mean, really keeps me at peace. That is how I protect my energy. I go out and I take a barefoot walk to just release all of that, all the stuff going in my head. So I just like release it in like walk barefoot, man. Just walk barefoot on earth. And I just like that's something, I just say like while working with earth and water, I feel very comforted. And that's like peace to me. That's, so I do that. And yeah, maybe you can, while maybe taking a walk on the ground or something, maybe you can draw, like money symbols or sigils and stuff.
Yeah, or you can just literally, as you're walking, you're telling the earth that you're abundant. Why? Because the earth is abundant. You have to think, look how many granules of dirt there are in the earth. Look at all the blades of grass. You can't count the grass. You're abundant. So you can say something as simple as I walk barefoot in this grass, I'm as abundant as the blades of grass that I walk on. And I feel abundance. I attract abundance, or I'm attracting abundance from the earth as I receive the abundance of the earth as you walk barefoot. So it's something as simple as that. Even if, okay, when you go into the water and you're trying, they're running mind and thoughts. Thoughts are typically air elements, right? Your mental is associated with air, but water controls your emotions. So one way to help clear your thoughts, go get in the beach, go to a body of salt water, and literally dip yourself in the salt water, head, everything, full body in the salt water, and cleanse yourself of any thoughts that may be plaguing you. Easily done. If you've ever gone to a beach and you got in the water and came back and sat down and you felt super tired after you got out of the water, that's because you have cleansed yourself of all of the heavy energy that has been on you. You feel super, super tired once you get out of beach water. That's because it's a natural cleansing agent. It's full of salt. Salt is cleansing.
Right. And I mean, that's actually a great thing. I actually never thought about it, like going to the beach and cleansing yourself. I never thought about it. I would do that the next time I'm at the beach, because that's like really wonderful.
Yeah, you're super tired when you leave a beach. Yeah, you're like, I'm so tired, and you don't know why you're tired. But if you got anywhere in that ocean, you have cleansed yourself of anything that should not have been on you, of any energy that should not have been on you. So you're feeling tired because you've released all of that gunk and negativity and shit that didn't belong to you back into nature. It's cleansed you. And now you're restored and you feel lighter. You feel better. You feel tired.
Right.
So yeah, that's what beaches do. And not only that, but you're grounding yourself because you're walking in the sand to the water.
Yes.
So two things at once. Visit a beach this summer. Summertime, visit the beach.
Yeah, I will. It's we have not been vaccinated completely yet. Mm-hmm. Even I have not received my second dose. So yeah, like right now we are still under lockdown. We are still under partial lockdown. It's actually difficult here.
Not here. We outside. Vaccinated, unvaccinated. We just spreading the Delta variant. It don't even matter. They don't even care.
I actually know that, this actually doesn't matter. And but the thing is that even maybe somewhere for, I would say, the general public, it probably does, give a moment, like a thought of peace and protection that, if I'm vaccinated, maybe I will be protected. So even probably that is peace of mind to go out and like face this whole situation actually.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see when we can go.
Yeah, we can go to beaches.
It was lovely talking to you today. It was like I didn't know time flew by so quickly.
Yeah, we've been on for at least an hour and 40 minutes, so almost 2 hours. But I'm on YouTube. So I'm on YouTube, and I usually go live over here and pull cards. So I'm going to pull cards on YouTube if anyone wants to jump over to my YouTube page. It is the same. It is Melanated Medicine Woman on YouTube. I will pull a few tarot cards over there for my folks that have been watching. I see people there and then they left. But if you want your cards pulled, visit my YouTube channel because I'm still live over there. So I'll be live for a few more minutes on YouTube. So visit me there, follow me there.
Thank you so much, Toya, for coming here.
You're welcome.
And please, guys, go like her profile. Please go to her YouTube. She is a wonderful leader, and I absolutely love her. So please go and like her, follow her, both of us.
Yes. HoodRootworker.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And it is the same if you are trying to figure it out. It's Melanated Medicine Woman on YouTube. For those who are trying to figure it out.
Would you send me a link? I can probably post it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me try to type it here. Is youtube.com/melanated. There we go. That's the link right there. youtube.com/melanated medicine woman. So you can find me there. So I'll be over there pulling cards. Come on over if you'd like. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And be sure, if you're on my YouTube page, follow HoodRootworker. I should have tagged her on the post. So make sure.
It's good.
All right.
People who would want to follow will follow. People who won't, it's what it's.
Absolutely. We share enough information all the time. So
yeah.
We're a resource.
Yeah.
This is a resource.
Okay. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful chat, and I would love to have you again.
Absolutely. We definitely will. We'll go over on YouTube too and try it there so they can see you on that side.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a lovely day.
You too. Bye, y'all.
Take care. Bye.
Welcome back to the
I'm back, y'all. All right, so we're gonna pull cards over here. I feel like I neglected everybody on this side. Hopefully I didn't. All right. Let's see. Where we at? Got cards. What y'all doing? I hope y'all learned something. I don't know. But hopefully you learned something from the chat that we had. And hopefully y'all got to hear it, because I know it was like right here, but I tried to have my phone close to the speaker so you could hear. What y'all over here doing? And if you ordered something that was on sale, I'll be prepping orders sometime today so I can start getting stuff shipped out tomorrow. But it will be shipped this week. So, all right, now that y'all are here, what questions do you have? Look alive, people. I'm talking to y'all strictly on YouTube now. What questions do you have? You can ask. Yeah, I've just found this new game and I'm sort of addicted to it a little bit. What you want to know? You didn't know about the beach rain? Yeah, the beach is where you want to go. Whenever you feel heavy, go to the beach. Go right onto the beach and cleanse yourself. That's free. All day, every day. Let me see. All right. It was a good chat. Thank you. I hope everybody got to hear and understand what I was saying. All right. Pull your card. What is it that you want to know? Oh, okay, you could hear via YouTube. Good. Great. Let me ask y'all something about these love life questions. Because I'm going to tell you my love life sucks right now. But what is it that you hope that you find with these love questions? Because let me tell you, knowing what I just said about trying to let go, having questions about your love life is not going to help you. All it does is makes you more anxious. That's it. That's all it does. It makes you more anxious for something that has not happened yet. That's why I try not to do readings on your love life unless you're already in a relationship. I wouldn't do readings on your love life because it just makes you more anxious. And like I said, it eludes you every time. So I would ask questions like, what can I do to improve myself to prepare for a better love life? What should I be working on? That you should know. So go ahead and ask your questions. Because you finding out about your love life is not going to help you any sooner. It doesn't help your situation. It just makes you anxious about what could be coming, and it eludes you for your wanting to know so bad. That's my 2 cents. But if you want to know, by all means. I can tell you. All right, so go ahead, ask your questions. Oh, because I told y'all don't ask love questions, y'all left. Y'all quiet. Like, y'all gonna ask questions? Anything people can do to prepare for the new month in Portal? Well, today is Sunday, and it is the first Sunday of the month. What you can do is go wash your hands with some salt water and ask that you attract money all month of August. Okay? Wash your hands with some salt. Take your hands, some hot water, and some salt, and wash your hands with the salt water and say that you're going to attract all money and prosperity all month of August. You can go outside, take some cinnamon, blow the cinnamon out the front door, and say that you're going to manifest or prosperity is coming into your home all month long. Same thing with salt. You can blow the salt out of the door and ask for protection for your home. And you just literally stand in the door with the salt in your hand and blow it out. As you're blowing it, you say it. The 8/8 portal is next week. It is on August 8th. It is the Lion's Gate portal, and the new moon also in Leo. So, of course, Leo is fiery, fiery and passionate. Excuse me. Good time to usher in anything that you're really trying to usher in and put some extra oomph in it. Leo can help you do that. Think about the passions that Leo has. If you're trying to be seen, if you're trying to get more visibility, Leos are known for that. So this is a good moon for visibility. And it is also good for creating passion. If you're trying to create more passion between you and somebody else, use this new moon in Leo as well as the Lion's Gate portal to do that, to welcome in and usher in things that you are passionate about or want more passion around. How can I get an X out of my energy? I believe you've done cord cutting. The cord cutting baths, cord cuttings in general. If you can do journaling to let go, you can do it's a releasing. So if you're trying to release this person, one way of doing it is a releasing ritual where you're writing everything that you want to release. Any thoughts, any feelings, anything related to them that you want to release, write it out. You can burn it up. That's releasing. Forgive yourself. You can do an apology letter to yourself for allowing this person into your life. What's the dates again on the Leo moon? August 8th, if I'm not mistaken. It is on a Friday. Hold tight. Let me pull up my moon calendar. It is August 8th is on a Sunday. Sorry. Yeah. So August 8th is on a Sunday. It is next Sunday. 1 week away is the new moon. So August 8th is next Sunday. How to let go of things after manifestation or visualization. Unknowingly, I keep thinking about the things that I have manifested. How do you let go of them? You just work in gratitude. So practicing gratitude and being thankful that you have these things, thankful that these experiences have happened for you. So you can either manifest more of these things or let go of them. But you think your spirit team, you think the universe that you've had these experiences, you got to experience these things on a level that you can appreciate. If you're trying to let go of things before they're manifested, then that means that you get busy focusing on other things that you want to work on. The things that you do have control over. You focus on those things. Other questions? You're welcome. Come on with it. Oh, and also because this is a Leo new moon, use fire. Okay, use fire as your element to work with. If you're going to use herbs that are associated with fire. Cinnamon is one fiery herb. Use Leo is a masculine sign, so you want to use masculine herbs. Okay, so that's just something that you should know. Herbs associated with fire. Let me see if I got my book over here. I'll tell you what herbs are associated with Leo. Herbs associated with Leo because it is a masculine sign. And Sunday is the day of Leo also. Okay, so herbs associated: angelica root, or angelica in general, borage, chamomile, dill, golden seal, St. John's wort, mistletoe, nutmeg, cinnamon, cloves, star anise, marigolds, raspberry, rosemary, rue, frankincense, saffron, mistletoe, sandalwood. All are herbs associated with Leo. Crystals, you have carnelian, citrine, tiger's eye, sunstone, sapphire, diamond, garnet, jasper, ruby, laboradite, laboradorite, I'm sorry, is the word. Associated, those are crystals associated. You know, Leo rules the solar plexus. So, yeah. Anything else? Any other questions? I'm going to get off. I'm about to get off. Anything else? All right, y'all. I'm heading off. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to talk to y'all later. I'll probably come back this week. But I will talk to you all much later. Thanks for watching, too. I can pull your card. I'm going to pull your card. I'm going to pull your card. You're welcome. I'm going to pull your card. I'll pull it later. Envy knows. I'm gone.